Good evening and welcome to the Post Cafe. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expressions in painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Many seek to bring new ideas and opportunities through the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in a soft-toed ballerina shoe. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. This is the Poetically Speaking show, the place for the spoken word, and glad to be back. I missed not being with you last time. I had to take care of some business, but I'm back on the scene, and this is a special program, special day. It's Father's Day, and so we have to really give credit to all the fathers. And what I'm talking about is all the dads. I'm talking about the stepdads and the biological dads and the foster dads and the single dads and the adoptive dads and the dads in heaven, and also mentors who can be considered dads, especially if you ever were part of a sports team. The coach was like your father away from home. And so we want to give all them their due, all them their credit. Today's agenda is the singer and the song. And I guess the question, what comes first? Does the singer come first or the song come first? We're gonna find out about that. And the quote of the day is from an article that appeared in Psychology Today. And the quotation is, "Our words matter. The words we choose convey our thoughts and feelings. Aside from nonverbal communication, words are the heartbeat of our relationships." And this is from Mel Schwartz, and it's from a 2016 Psychology Today article. And so I want you to keep that in mind as we go through the program, because our words do matter. And, of course, this program, we focus on words. We are poetically speaking. And so we want to bring you in today. We have some special things for you for Father's Day that I'm sure that you appreciate, and also that we are glad to be bringing to you. As always, it gives me a lot of pleasure to bring on Ron, because we have a segment of the program called Ron's Poetry. And because it's Father's Day, I know he's going to have something special for Father's Day. And so I give you Ron and Ron's Poetry.
Absolutely, and it's truly a pleasure to even have you back.
Oh,
I know the audience was screaming; they was mad at me because where's Terry?
Yeah.
You know, but
is he keeping them out? Yeah, I mean,
you know, and hey, I came in this attire just for the men, for all
look
brothers.
Look at that brother.
Of every level, no matter how you look at it. Okay, so every brother, every man, every father, uncle, son, no matter how you look at it, this is for you.
It's for you,
so
man.
Hopefully, I'm impressing you. Give me a thumbs up and send me some comments and whatnot. Saying thank you, brother.
Yes, I mean, this doing this for you, you know. So come on, the brother's all dressed up, got his bow tie, got his lapel. I mean, he's doing it.
Uh-oh.
He's doing it. All right.
Let me read this, because this is ties into, in all seriousness, again, we want to recognize, as my brother said, this is Men's Day, but I always say every day is a man's day, is a Father's
That's right.
Day. Everyone who takes the responsibility just for your mere presence to say hello, how you doing, whatever the case may be, because you brought those kids here, or you helping some child or your neighbor's child or somebody, you're trying to raise them up to become somebody.
That's right.
And that's
That's
what's
right.
important. Yeah. Here, I want to read this, and we brought to you this a while back, but nevertheless, it's never old. It still revives itself. Call him Father, The foundation of a man is the responsibility to labor, being accountable for securing the village. On a journey, climbing mountains, crossing streams, valleys is rough, but alone, singing his precious song to lead and guide his way back home. Excuse me. His conditions and environment are rooted deeper than what is ever showcased that constitute fatherhood. The heavy load carried on his pocket is heavier than the burden of the world, crushing strong, weak, moderate shoulders, never giving up. My Savior will pave the way. Unknown to me, decisions, confuse, distractions, and frustration beat me up and down. But at the end of the day, when somebody asks, they call me by my name and call him Father. For there is none like the one who taught me who I am today. He is my Father. Doesn't matter, widow, divorced, friend to my mother. He was always there cheering on at each and every game, whether we won or lost. Right. Ice cream, cone, milkshakes, and all. He is the hero I love beyond starry skies. Even in my dark blue cries, he's the light that rescued me from my own insecurity. Blemish and all, I fall into my daddy's arms. Now I know he'll fix it after all. The foundation of fatherhood bears no regret, but challenges the challenge to get the job done. He doesn't fight except to protect. Cursing, battered up, that does not entertain abuse. Having no home discipline brings an understanding of my right from wrong. Raising mine or someone else is the shield of armor, engraved and inscribed, the badge of honor written with the blood of Jesus or whatever denomination. A father stands on solid rock. All others are sinking sand. Yet he diligently and essentially lives streams in the course of action. The highlight of manhood is a core subject by which the course is lifelong, with no failing grades except when giving up from the precious bailing down like a frozen sun and its sweltering shattered by an avalanche. His only hope is that he cannot die until the duty of fatherhood is done and he receives his rewards. Well done, good and faithful servant. Well done. That's from Matthew 25:3. On solid rock he stands. His inner faith is beyond the strength he endures. Without it, what would he, if nothing at all? To say thank you, Lord, for bringing me thus far. Where will I be had it not been for the grace of God? And that is so important because, again, as it expelled out and as I expressed, you will go through something. We've been through something. Right. Our history have shown that we are here today because our ancestors that we cannot begin to imagine. The fatherhoods back then, the uncles and brothers and sons, even the sons who was not able to grow up, but labored in the field at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, cultivating the garden and whatnot, just to make a difference because they wanted to be like their father at that time, to grow up to be somebody, stable and secure in their own way.
That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful poem, and it's a beautiful thought that fathers, you have this responsibility because it's your example that sets the tone for your family, especially your sons, but also your daughters. So again, fatherhood is nothing to be taken lightly, and that's why we have this day that we call Father's Day. But as Ron said before, every day is Father's Day, especially for those fathers who are with their families and maybe not with their families. But again, they still have an impact upon your children. And so before we go on, I just want to ask Rod, in your church, they did a special thing for Father's Day. What was that about? How did that go?
Yes, one of the most important things. It's interesting that today the pastor had asked for all of us, all men, to bring a man, a male, somebody, your son. Didn't matter who, what, when, where, why, how. Didn't matter what condition they was in or under. The fact is, bring somebody. Yes. And so we heard and listened to some of the testimony from some of the brothers who gave the indication as to what brought them far. And what's interesting, and I want to say one of the brothers, one of the deacons expressed one of the things I'm a firm believer in. If nothing else, your mere presence is the most important. That's a 5-star right there in itself, your mere presence, because nobody asks, how you look or how you smell or how you feel or whatever case it be. But the fact is, you are there for a child, and that's what child remembers. And others had talked about, especially the young brothers and young fathers coming into this world, and they learning from the seasoned fathers and those who are present going through something. And there was a couple of brothers who shared their past history, their dark shadows of their gloomy condition. But what brought them forth in today's light was their journey through the darkness, whether it's the streets, whether it's the drugs, alcohol, no matter how you look at it. But they prayed, they cried out. And then on top of that, they will say, and they have said today, for any father, only because of the grace of God who called me from darkness and brought me into the marvelous light to change my ways and condition. That's what today at church was all about. And the church was packed with a lot of brothers, a lot of men, a lot of fathers, a lot of sons and nephews and grandkids. No matter how you look at it, they were there. The church was packed. And that was a beautiful thing because, again, it was about identifying manhood, brothers, and fathers. And that's what we have to continue to do collectively, to embrace, to connect, to move forward. Because, as we all know, tomorrow's not promised.
That's right.
Yesterday's gone. So what are we going to do today?
And I thank you for that. Because, again, we have to understand that we have to hear the voices because words matter. Words matter. And we want to give them their testimony. Before we bring our guests on, I want to share with our audience, Laura Flashberg. She said, Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Laura. We appreciate that. And I just want to do the segment here that we call Music is Lit, where I look at some lyrics as literature. And I just want to share two because I want to get to our special guests as soon as I can. But the song that I want to start with was actually recorded. Well, it was recorded some time ago during the 60s. But again, Horace Silver, who wrote the song, he put lyrics to the song in 1993. And the song is entitled Song for My Father. It's by Horace Silver and vocals by Andy Bay. And it's from an album entitled It's Got to Be Funky. And this is from Horace Silver, but this is the lyrics for a song for my father. And it reads, This little song for my father does things that no other can do as I sing it to you. It has a rhythm and a rhyme that will fasten your memory in time as his beauty shines through. For through my mind and soul, my heart will always hold a special place for him. It's time. We bow our heads and pray every day, Father's Day. And let's review all that he means to you. Our mother's love is real nice, but old Dad sacrificed for us too. Let us give him his due. We're proud to be in his biography. We sing this song for him and you and you and you. And that song for my father. And the second song is a song that a lot of people, they hear it and they always say, I like that song, but I don't know who sang it. And we're going to help you with that. And this is a classic song as well. It is not Papa was a Rolling Stone. That's classic, but that's negative. This is classic, but this is positive. And this is a song called Color Him Father. And this was actually released in 1969. And the artists that sang were the Winstons. It was a multi-racial group back in the day. And this is Color Him Father. There's a man at my house. He's so big and strong. He goes to work each day, stays all day long. He comes home each night looking tired and beat. He sits down at the dinner table and has a bite to eat. Never a frown, always a smile when he says to me, how's my child? I've been studying hard all day in school, trying to understand the golden rule. I think I'll color him father. I think I'll color him love. Said I'm going to color him father. I'm going to color him love. I think I'll call him love. Yes, I will. He says education is the thing if you want to compete, because without it, son, life ain't very sweet. I love this man. I don't know why, except I'll need his strength until the day I die. My mother loves him, and I can tell the way she looks at him when he holds my little sister Nell. I heard her say that the other day that if it hadn't been for him, she wouldn't have found her way. My real old man got killed in the war, and she knows she and 7 kids couldn't get very far. She said she thought that she would never love again, and then she stood with this man with a big, wide grin. He married my mother, and he took us in, and now we belong to the man with the big, wide grin. I think I'll color him Father. I think I'll color him Love. I said I'm going to color him Father. I'm going to color him Love. I'm going to color him Father. And again, a classic song. And one thing I like about that song, Ron, obviously this was a man who married this woman and took her children on. I think a lot of times we don't say enough about stepfathers, but it's very challenging to come into a situation where a family's already been established and you come in and you're raising these children as your own. But that's something that a lot of us find ourselves in, you know. But again, fathers, we salute you, we thank you, and we encourage you to keep on going.
Absolutely, and that's so important, even to make the attempt to do all that you can to try to make a difference in a child's life, to show something positive. Because honestly, a lot of kids across the board, for the most part, already are scarred. They're already angry if something happened to a parent or they're divorced or something. But they want somebody, but it's the trust. And naturally, by a man or a brother or uncle coming in and stepping in, trying to do what he can with what little he may have. But it makes a difference to get that child's trust. And as you indicated, and as you read the lyrics of that, I will color him Father. That's so important because it shows the tone and the image of various aspects of who this man is.
That's right.
How do I see this man as opposed to seeing him in a negative view? And that's what's important. And just very quick and short.
You please.
Friend of mine, I was talking to a friend of mine. Her mother had just since passed. But we became friends because she was an activist in the community. So when I go to the house, you know, we would sit and talk. Now, it had nothing to do other than trying to connect as far as, you know, community activities. But one of her daughters, and I was saying this the other day, one of her daughters, I'll never forget, she was a little teenager. And she'd be mad. I could tell by the expression. And like, who is this man coming up in the head? You know,
what nerve?
Oh, yeah, what nerve? All of that, you know. So,
yeah.
And that's what's important. But the whole thing is we truly give each and every single man, every father, every brother who stepped up to the plate to try to make a difference. That's what's important. Do what you can.
That's right. That is what's important. And like I said, today is a special day, but it wouldn't be a special day without a special woman. And we have that woman with us today, a woman we both known for some time. And the thing I like about our guest here is that she's been doing what she's been doing for a long time. And so when I talk about the singer in the song, she's on both ends of the spectrum because she's a singer. She's also a lyricist. But Ron, who am I talking about?
Oh, I'm telling you about a world-renowned artist. We're talking about, hey, you may not have seen her on the Broadway show or the platform of Walk L.A., whatever case may be. But the fact is, her voice resonates far and wide.
That's right.
Local and foreign. Domestic, no matter how you look at it, she's been with some of the best of the best.
That's right.
And I'm going to introduce you to this world-renowned, I say world-renowned.
World-renowned.
You don't have to because you didn't see her in the spotlight on CBS News.
Yes,
but the fact is, you cannot take away her journey because she had laid the pathway, and she's here to tell you who she is, and you will see her for yourself.
That's right. She's been doing this for a long time. She's a professional.
All the years I know her, I'm still learning something about her. Got me laughing. So here we have today a bio. Janet Van Klein, vocalist, lyricist, singer of jazz, rhythm, and blues. Rap, neo, soul, blues, gospel. Recorded with Victor Wooten, Salt and Pepper, Darlene Love, Ty Stevens, and Romanticy, the Janet Van Klein Ensemble. Opening act for Nina Simone, Noah Pointer, Astrid Simpson, Vivian Green, music, Soul Child. Other recording includes My Love is Real, Janet Van Klein, Women Light the Way for Change, various artists. What songs will our children sing? Touch and Associate, 2018. Latest project, American Ladies of Song. Children's program, creative, director and lead vocalist. Young adults and adult jazz program and lead vocalist. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters to our audience, this is, as I said, a world-renowned artist.
Yes,
and we
yes.
have her
Right here.
our studio audience. I mean,
Woo.
what can I say?
Yes,
Because again,
we going
one
big
of the most
time.
important thing, you will hear from her. And here's a beautiful young lady. Look at the smile on her face. I'm telling you, got me nervous.
Yeah. We welcome you, my sister.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's been
Wow.
this been in the works for a little while, but we finally got you here, and we're happy. We're ecstatic.
Thank you, Ron and Terry.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
And
we
I'm
used to-
so glad Ron stayed behind me.
Yeah, well,
You know,
he's a
make sure he
persistent
got me.
man, you know. But the thing is that we've known you for a long time, and we want other people to know you. But the thing is that the way the program is set up, because we go YouTube all the way, and there are people who you probably lost touch with, and they're going to see the program, and they're going to reach out to you.
Oh,
Because you've been doing
Thank
this for
you.
a long time, and you've been doing it at a very high level. And my question to you is, how did you get started?
how did I get started? Well, I always wanted to sing.
Okay.
Being around the house, listening to my mother, singing. She used to sing a lot of jazz, or she would have it playing. And then growing up in the 50s and 60s, listening to all of the Motown and R&B, all the soul, the James Brown and stuff that was playing. I always wanted to sing, so I used to imitate what I heard.
Yeah, okay.
And I'd say once I got into grammar school, I started getting into choirs, glee clubs, or whatever around schools and talent shows.
Yes, right.
That's how it starts.
Yeah,
You get into the community talent shows and stuff like that. And, I started meeting other singers, musicians that wanted to put something together. And, I kind of stuck with it. Met some really, really talented musicians. And one friend in particular, Mr. Joe Scott, we started working together. We worked with an older gentleman, Mr. Junius Williams, and he kind of like got us into some of the clubs that we wouldn't, normally be in.
Yeah.
And, you meet other people that are serious in the business, and that's how it started, actually, started making money from it.
Yeah.
I got a chance to do Symphony Hall,
Okay. Yeah,
work with people like Nina Simone and Noel Pointer. Yeah.
And the thing that I find interesting as I read your bio, you have performed with a lot of very prominent people, very famous people. And my question to you is, what was it about these people that made them stand out, like Nina Simone, like Victor Wooten, these people who have become international stars? Is there something that makes them different from the rest? Is there some special thing that they have?
Well, I think they had the desire to be the best that they could be.
Okay. Right.
And that usually comes from practicing more than, most young people, like, probably you would find them rehearsing when the kids were outside playing,
Right.
Or their parents pushed them to be real musicians. And those are the kind of people that made the music for us, the music that we listen to.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
I got the opportunity to do shows. I think the first one that I did with Noel Pointer, he was looking for an opening act, and he was in Newark.
Okay.
And I think maybe Gibson was running for mayor at the
Yeah, I remember
time.
that. Yeah.
So it was some political thing that got us involved. And when I worked with Victor Wooten, it was at Kane College. They were doing some special programs for young upcoming musicians. And it was free. I think might have been free to the public. It was really, really nice show, but it was geared towards young people.
Okay.
So actually my girlfriend, another singer, Wincy Terry, got me
I remember
into
Wincy.
that.
I remember her. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was going off to do some bigger and better things, and she needed someone that could do the jazz and the R&B.
Yeah. That
So
versatility, right?
she called me, and yes, Victor Wooten came and picked me up,
wow.
with one of the teachers that was putting it on. So, it's something how the opportunities open up for you, and you just got to be ready.
Well, that's the thing, and we have a community that listens to the program as we're recording, and this is from Kay Sweetness Jennings, and she's talking about the father. She says, protect, provide, prepare, and plan are just a few things our men show up as professionals. May we continue to give grace to the men in our homes, communities, and nations, giving thanks for what has been, giving thanks for what is, and for what shall be. Dance with my father again, how I love. And that's another song that's very positive. Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father. And that song was made before he got sick and, and he passed. But again, the father and the memory of the father is something that really helps us to get through. Now, you mentioned Wincy Terry, who I know very well. I haven't seen her in a long time, probably longer than I've seen you. But when you work with those type of people, how do you sort of encourage each other or keep each other getting? Because I get the sense that there are people like you and Wincy that have been doing this a long time, and I'm sure you've had some ups and downs. And when you, I guess, speak with her, what kind of conversation do you have to keep on going? Because, Jan, you've been doing what you're doing for a long time. And like I said, and I love you because you're doing it at a very high level. And I don't know, but I guess it's like what Ron and I do. People ask me silly question, are you still writing? Am I still breathing? Yeah, I'm still writing, but I know in terms of the writing. But what keeps you going? What keeps you going? And obviously, it's still enjoying what you're doing. What is it about you that, because there's people I know who sort of fallen by the wayside, right?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's the enjoyment.
Okay. All right.
This is what I like to do most of all.
Okay.
And then it's you gotta make money to stay alive,
right,
to eat, to pay your bills and whatever. So that's the main thing. that as long as I'm feeling well, I have energy. I can get around. I'm not dragging around like an old person. And you try you try to be as energetic and feeling as good as you can in this business, because I've gone through the age discrimination in some of the
ups and downs, right?
in some of the biggest agencies, booking agencies. And you got to keep looking as young as you can, and you got to be at your best.
Yes.
So that's what keeps me going, really. and the fact that, I do have my own original material that I want to eventually get out and to have heard. I mean, I know it's not like what's being played today, but it's like the music that I'm used to hearing and that I love to do.
Yes,
So,
yes.
someone might like it.
Yeah, because I think what happens now, because the way the music is set up with this, all the streaming services and whatnot, it's almost that it's really taken over by young people because
Yeah.
people are contemporaries. I mean, I haven't brought any music. I don't know how long. I mean, I'm still playing my old CDs,
Right.
because I mean, I like the music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Anything beyond that, I really don't know much of that. But I know a lot of time the younger people, they buy the music. And again, I think that if you're a classic, that you have longevity only because there's nobody that does it like you do it. Because when I come to see a Janet Van Klein show, I know that it will be high energy. I know it will be diverse. I know there'll be some slow songs, some fast songs, and it will be. I tell you, it will be an experience. I call it the Janet Klein experience. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
the
funny.
Janet Klein experience. She's not just singing. She's not just a singer in a song, but she's an experience. You get what I'm saying?
With the flow,
Yeah.
soul, the smoothness. I mean, she know how to unravel that toxic thinking and feeling
Oh, my
and just
goodness.
bring you to a place that all of a sudden like, what? What just happened?
Wow, that's funny. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And again, so we said that you were a singer, but also you're a lyricist. Now, when did you come to that in terms of writing your own songs? Because I suspect that when you first started, you were probably singing other songs. Songs were popular
Right.
with other people. What now? Now you're to the point where you're writing your own songs, your own lyrics. What brought you to that particular point in your career?
I think in the 80s,
Okay.
well, probably earlier than that, but the 80s was when I thought that I could actually do it,
Okay. Okay.
So I just started writing lyrics down, and a lot of it could have been, experiences of what I was going through
Okay.
or not, because you emulate other singers.
Okay.
So, I was into Shaka Khan, I was
Yeah.
into Anita Baker and Diane Reeves and, some of the earlier, even Nina Simone.
Yeah.
And, so if I felt like I wanted to write a song similar to a song that I liked from any of them, or even some of the men like Al Jarreau,
Okay.
and,
Wow. Yeah.
I would just sit down and try to write stuff that was similar, that made me feel good,
Okay.
and tried to present it to musicians that I knew that might like it and be able to help me, So my friend Joe Scott was there most of the time where he was, I would sing the songs to him
Okay. Okay.
and then he would, play the melody and add chords onto it. And he's, started recording it from the drums to the bass to the keyboards to the strings. And, so he helped me build the song.
Okay. Okay.
So now, since I wasn't able to actually record them because of money and whatever was going on, now I want to put new arrangements on it, possibly make it sound a little more current, and try to get it out there, and not even so much trying to get a record company to hear it, record it, or whatever, but just to have it completed so that I could perform it on my gigs or let my family hear it. You always want them to know that you're doing something positive and you're not just, joking around. It's like you want them to know that you have some real ability and, hopefully it'll be a nice, complete thing for other people to hear.
That's beautiful, and I think with you, because you've been around for some time and you with different groups and that kind of stuff, it would be refreshing to see you, in person. And we're going to try to make that happen, because we have some contacts. And I'm saying that only because you deserve that. You deserve that to the point where, it's funny when you're doing your art, you're doing it because you love it. You do it because you have a passion for it, but you do it because what else are you going to do?
Right. That's right.
I tell my mother at 9 years old I wanted to be a writer. Now, I didn't know a writer was a college professor and this and that and the other thing, but I always say that after all is said and done, I'm a writer by nature. This is my nature to write, and what you do is the same. But I want you to take us behind the scenes. And my question to you is, let's say when you're getting ready to do a concert, let's say it's a solo concert, how do you put your songs together? How do you prepare? Because usually when I see you at least an hour on stage, after a break. And I'm thinking, wow, man, she put all the energy, and you take your break and come back at the intermission and do it all over again. And I'm thinking, first of all, how does she remember all those doggone songs? And so take us into mind of a singer, a songwriter on stage. What is behind the scenes on that?
Like when you're doing your own gig, of course you find out what the clientele wants, what kind of music, what the program is about, and you pick the songs that you think is going to fit.
Okay.
And, I have to sit down and figure out how I want to start it. Do I want to start it exciting or do I want to start it slow? If they're having like a cocktail hour or something, they want some laid back behind the scenes music. You do some ballads or some light jazz or something like that. And then to bring excitement to the middle of the party, I would say. You do most of your songs that have a little more excitement, that maybe they may want to dance. Or might have a certain meaning that goes along with what's going on with the program. And then probably at the end, if they're going to be dancing, then you want to have all the upbeat, dancing, exciting music. So and you just have to sit down and write it out. And arrange the music the way you want it chronologically.
Of course,
so it takes a little while sometimes, and I have a hard time making up my mind, so I'll be changing things back and forth.
I heard
but
that,
you always have an out where if they change all of a sudden, they don't want all of this in the middle of the program. Then you just got to be ready to actually change things around a little bit. But it's not that hard. It just takes time.
And I hate when people say that. It's not that hard. I can sing for a couple of hours and remember all the songs and remember all the movements. But, it's not that hard. I can't do that, Janet. I can't do that. Even if I tried, I don't think I could do it. But you make it so effortlessly, And I have a CD here, and it's Janet Van Klein, What Songs Will Our Children Sing? Okay, and this is Janet Van Klein, What Songs Will Our Children Sing? Janet, tell us a little bit about this CD, because it's very well packaged.
Well, that song actually was written by Mr. Curtis Hudson. Curtis is also the person who wrote, I think along with Lisa Stevens, was or is the main singer of the group that he used to work with all the time called Pure Energy.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And they wrote the song for Madonna, actually, Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So, Curtis is still writing all kinds of music. And that song was actually for a children's book, and it's entitled "What Songs Will Our Children Sing?" And the book was an anthology that was written by his brother and some other authors. And I think he said it was a poem at first.
Yeah.
And they asked him to put music to it, so he composed the music and asked me to sing the actual song.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, because again, we started the program with the quote that in part says, "Words matter. Words matter. Songs matter. Books matter." One of the segments of our program, we have a segment called Mind, Body, and Books, where we just introduce some books to our audience. And this book right here that I just want to let you know about is called Live Nourished, Make Peace with Food, Banish Body Shame, and Reclaim Joy. And this is from Shauna Mena Spence. And she's an MSRDN, CDN nutritionist. And again, letting us know what we should be eating and how we should be eating it. Because at this point, I'm at the point in my life where I eat for the nutrients.
Right.
And I'm at the point, I tell my brother here, I'm at the point where I'm just going to throw everything in the blender. I'm just going to drink my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not even going to touch a fork or a spoon. Because I want to stay healthy, but it's just so many choices. So I might start doing that. Also, another book that I want to bring to our viewing audience is a book entitled Becoming Kings, The Modern Man's Path to Being Powerful, Purpose-Driven, and Fulfilled in a World That Has Taught You Not to Be. And this is from Johnny King. Again, also, this is the book of the month for our men. We suggest that you read this book, and maybe sometime during this month we can just talk about this book in depth. But again, men, we really want you to be around, and we want you to take care of yourself. And before we go on, I just want to just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that we've lost a giant in the music world. And I'm talking about Sylvester Stewart, also known as Sly Stone. And he passed, and it would be wrong for me not to really just maybe read some lyrics from one of his songs. And this is from 1973, and it's entitled If You Want Me to Stay. And this is from Sly and the Family Stone. And it reads here, if you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to see. But I'm about to go, and then you'll know for me to stay here, I got to be me. You'll never be in doubt. That's what it's all about. You can take me for granted and smile. Caught the days I'm gone. Forget reaching me by phone, because I promise I'll be gone for a while. And when you see me again, I hope that you have been the kind of person that you really are now. You got to get it straight. How could I ever be late when you're my woman taking up my time? Oh, how could you ever allow? I guess I wonder how. How could you get out of the pocket for fun? When you know that you're never number two, number one's going to be number one. Oh, I'll be good. I wish I could get this message over to you now. When you see me again, I hope that you have been the kind of person you really are now. I'll be so good. Oh, I wish I could get this message over to you now. And that's Sly Stone. And the thing is that a lot of people don't realize what a poet he was. He was a poet, and he was a songwriter. And he will definitely be missed. And we have here a singer and a songwriter. And again, and we have a poet here, my brother here, and I always tell him that, I want to push him further, because he does poetry, and sometimes he does poetry with music behind him and whatnot. And I tell you, and looking at you two together here, you make a nice couple. Maybe you might want to sit down and have Janet help you change some of these poems into songs, because I think that's where it comes from, the poetry.
Yeah.
The poetry to the
Right.
song. And like Janet said, you get some musicians together, they develop a melody and whatnot, and you could go on the road. I could be your manager. We could make some money.
You know, it's interesting because, to tell you the truth, I was just sitting here thinking, because even some of the pieces I have,
See
and
that?
even prior to when I was putting a few of my pieces together, I was looking for a female artist.
See that?
Because a lot of this takes the background, or actually the collaboration, when you have that soft note, that soft tone, that soft voice like we have here.
Yes,
You
yes.
see, I'm nervous already. But
It's
it blends
something.
and it helps,
does-
because
does
just
help.
like with Marvin Gaye and many others, because in here, it helps. And as you indicated,
yeah.
with some of the, I have a whole lot. I just have to put them together, put them in book form.
Yes,
But you're absolutely correct. To touch bases with somebody that could blend in and fit in. And our guest today also mentioned, in short,
Yeah, please.
because a couple of things. First of all, and as we talk about all the time, do what you enjoy.
That's right.
I mean, you can't. There's no rhyme or reason. You just do what you enjoy. And every single person, since the beginning of time, started with something, nothing, anything, scramble, whatever. You take a child, throw something out there on the wall, and all of a sudden, there's somebody looking and say, "Well, that's a mess." But guess what? Now you're mad because it's in the museum. You see, so
right,
all
right.
of this, as you indicated, based on Les Brown, practice makes improvement.
Not
So it
perfect.
doesn't matter what you have; it's what you build on. And so every single male, young, middle, older, seasoned, collectively, you cannot have anything without the rest or all of the parts. That's what makes a building. That's where the stabilization of manhood comes together.
That's right.
Is working together, collecting together, and helping one another. And our sisters, our daughters and mothers also are there because they are part of the building. And I always say this: what God has joined together, let no man put us under.
That's right. That's right.
So which means, in this case, darkness cannot separate us, but the light will always bring us together in collaboration and to grow together. So you're absolutely correct.
And again, it's with the program, Janet, it seems once we get started, we're almost finished. We only have a few minutes left, which is crazy to me because I got so many questions. I'm going to have to make you stay after class.
Okay. Okay. That's
'Cause I
fine.
get these questions answered. But my brother, again, he has the task of, as we go through the program and we come to this time in the program, and it's his job, and I give it to him because I don't want to do it. No, that's the truth. Was that? Yeah. Okay, so we got 10 minutes, so we got some time. So again, I'm going to give it to him to share some more of his poetry and wrap things up for us.
Okay.
Here it's interesting because you indicate in reference to words.
Yes.
And that's what
Words
important.
matter.
And I have written this last night prior to Terry presenting that, and to show you how the spirit works, because we don't know. It's the same thing with a writer, artist, poet. No matter how you look at it,
That's right.
you find yourself in somebody else's word story. Because that's what it's all about. That's what our guest was talking about today, when the opportunity came. And as the opportunity arrives, you have to always be ready, because you don't know. Ain't no need staying there fumbling at the lips talking about what am I going to do or say. No, create something, because the audience don't know. So let me read this right quick. This is damage good. Damage to the nervous system causes a malfunctions in the cells related to intelligence, resulting in a breakdown of common sense. This serves as a metaphor for why conversations are often distorted by the way someone speaks, highlighting systems of confusion, debilitating diseases that stems from ignorance. The words are used either misspelled or misused, resembling like a jackrabbit jumping from side to side, creating a pattern of thoughts, thinking instead of remaining focused on the questions or conversation at hand, or akin to a volcano eruption spilling over, signifying chaos that is out of control. Damage is impeccable. A package bursts open like a balloon, released uncontrollably, disrupting the audience's focus and sending them into a daze of rational dilemma, questioning what was just said. A sudden stare lost in stupor awakes a secure team to rescue them from a state of frenzied anger. Damage can be beneficial, and there is a remedy if one takes the time to stay within bounds. An old saying goes that it's better to be seen than to let someone know how ignorant one can be. Reading is fundamental, even if it's just a word at a time. Learn, study, spell, and pronounce to achieve a sense of stability. The words we use, such as big, small, lost, or found, illustrates that even in various languages, we all struggle with misleading or mispronounced words. That's the joy of learning, the art of listening and conversing, and the art of understanding, no matter how you look at it. So that wasn't about putting somebody down, and that's why I said damage good, because we may think or feel we can't do, but it takes one step at a time. And you say it all the time, you know, as a professor and as an artist and a poet, no matter how you look at it, nobody's perfect. We started with nothing or whatever, and a lot of times we fumble over words. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You heard me.
but that's okay. Kay Sweetness Jennings from Georgia, she says, "Thank you, Janet, for your gifts and talents. You are a special gem. Keep shining brightly." I told you to be famous. Now people in Georgia are talking about you, and not to mention people on the East Coast, the West Coast, and any place that really appreciates song sung well, and you have the history, you know. So, what would be your legacy? What do you want people to think about Janet Van Klein when you're going off to greater success? What do you want to leave behind?
Well, I would like them to feel that I did my best.
All right.
And that I am a good singer, musician, songwriter. I know everyone loves different things.
Yes.
So you're not going to get everyone who's going to be into what you're doing, but hopefully there's someone that can feel, you know, what I'm putting out. And, you know, it's mainly for my family,
okay.
you know, or people that know me.
Yes.
Right now, you never want to say never. I don't expect to become a big star or anything, but I do want to leave behind some good things that my family could be proud of.
Okay.
That's it.
So you have any works in progress that we can look forward to? Or any
Yes.
performance dates, maybe?
If I get the chance to really finish all of the original material that I have,
Okay.
I'd say I'd probably have maybe about 8 songs, and you know, only a few people heard them but, as of right now. But the ones that did, they thought that they were good.
Okay.
My daughter and my grandson and my friends, you know, like I said, the ones that heard them, they like the stuff. And I am working with Daryl Dixon. He's a sax player that lives in Rahway, and he's played with people like Sting, Parliament Funkadelic, Alicia Keys, a whole host of people. And we just did a recording of this song called "Smile" by Kevin Littell. It's kind of like a Brazilian type of jazz tune.
Okay.
Turned out good, I must say.
Yeah.
And but it's not an original. And also I do some demos for Curtis Hudson from time to time. And you know, they're pretty good. I don't expect any of those songs to be released. He writes for big name artists. You know. So you know, once I really get my originals in a in a performance mode. I'd
Okay.
like to do them live on my own gigs,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so that's what I'm really striving for. To be able to play my own music on my gigs.
Oh,
Hmm.
beautiful. Well, we'll be looking forward to that, and we will let our community know that Janet Van Klein will be in concert somewhere near you or near us, and we'll be able to let you know that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
have to
Yeah, please.
mention one song that is on Spotify now. It's been there since October of last year. It's called "Celebrate Life Every Day," and it was written. The music was written by Rick Rivera, and his group is called One Tribe. And he's had some CDs out a few years ago, and they were really good. They're world beat, like Brazilian, Moroccan, African kind of stuff, and I wrote the lyrics for one of his latest songs.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
You know, I want to say this, and this is important. As our guest indicated, and that's the perception across the board. When somebody rose up from nothing to something, now let's just say, writing for big time artists. I have a problem with that. The reason why I say that, I don't have a problem with it per se. I only have the view when somebody forget where they come from, because there's always somebody else trying to rise up, excuse me, with a new opportunity. As the sister indicated, and as we talk about the door of opportunity, you see, so even here, you have your own label. You can write your own performance. You can put whatever. It's just a matter of people coming together to support, to build from there to whatever. A building is not built by itself. It started from nothing to something.
That's right.
And so it's only for those who forget where they come from. So I say that in a sense because if, like, even with example, like if I'm looking to how do I get out there, get my books out there, rather than go here, go there, whatnot, or even trying to write or put things together. There should always be a circle, a pot that we should be able to delve into to get the things we need, the tools we need from somebody, because everybody has a tool, a piece of the puzzle.
right, yeah.
Without the pieces, you don't have a piece, you don't have a picture, nor do you have a puzzle. So the whole thing is, even with this show, is about how do we help somebody, reach out and help somebody. It doesn't matter how high you went or how low, but it's somebody. It's no different than a child who taps you on the shoulder, said, "Mommy or Daddy," and you ignore that child. You really denied that child the opportunity to have a future. It's the exact same thing with adults. Somebody, or whatever the case may be. I said in the beginning, I will say it now. Here's a sister, a world-renowned sister. Although she may not have been notified or recognized by the world cameras, it doesn't mean her voice, her time, her knowledge, and everything else is not out there. It's just a matter of the audience themselves, such as yourself, to say, wait a minute, I listened to that sister. We saw that sister.
Right.
We're going to do this with that sister. We're going to help her grow, because as she grow, we grow, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's good that the way you said that, because again, I think in the final analysis, especially for artists, we want your support. We want you to know what we do and why we do it. And again, and I'm thankful for this platform that we have. We call it Poetically Speaking, but as you see, from every Thursday from 6 to 7 or Sunday from 5 to 6, we bring you people that have touched our lives in some very special ways, and we bring talents to you that you might not be aware of. But again, now that you know, we want you to do something about it. We want you to do your research on Janet Van Klein. We want you to go to Spotify and check out her recording. We want you to find a way to get a copy of this particular CD, because in the final analysis, when we help an artist, we help each other, because we're living in some very dark times. And I don't know about you out there, but I always look for some joy in my day. I look for some joy in my experience. And although it's Father's Day and we're celebrating that day, but as Ron said, every day is Father's Day when you're a father. But the thing is that we want you to understand that you have work to do. we artists have work to do, but because you inspire us, you have work to do as well. And what we actually to do is support our efforts. And we started a little late, so we're going a little further. But so we got about 2 minutes. Is that what it looks like? Okay, so it's on you, brother.
So I just want to, I'm not going to get into it, just want to take a couple seconds and introduce this book here. And it's titled Power and Glory. And I just want to elaborate on that just in short, even though we don't have that much time. The power we have, the glory we will see when we come together and to help one another grow. It doesn't matter where this person is at. Because just like the sister, touch base with her, or the professor here, we can always use somebody because we don't have it all, we don't know it all, and we can't do it all by ourselves. Right. You have to utilize the people around you, or no matter family, friends, whatever. You know how many artists and famous people rose up, and especially in the black community, rose up from a down because somebody lent them something. Right. Jet Magazine, Johnson Johnson, he started from his grandmother, gave him a couple of dollars. Okay, Damon John, I think it probably called. He started because his mother. Somebody helped somebody to rise up. The issue I have, like I said, it's only when you forget where you come from because there's always somebody who's trying to look for an opportunity. Don't ever close a door for anybody who even trying to crack, get through the cracks of a window. But that's what's important because he or she, and I'm going to leave you with this last thing, and many who may know and understand, even the woman at the well, she done everything she can just to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. He says, somebody touch me. Went through his whole body. Somebody out of all the crowd. But she was determined to touch somebody. Let's touch each other today.
That's right. And again, it's almost like it's like a circle, because again, we help each other, and it goes in a circle in the sense that it's almost that good karma. Our listening audience, our viewing audience, Laretha Foster Bram, she says, responding to K Sweetness, good evening. Again, we have people who tune in to us, Laretha and K Sweetness, Jennings, and others. And again, we thank you for being out there and for commenting. And we realize that we're going to bring you the best that we have to bring to you. And again, I just want you to, for the men, get a copy of this book here. This is called Becoming Kings. And it says here, in Becoming Kings, you will learn how to become emotionally fit and mentally bulletproof in order to become a king worthy of true freedom in life. Because again, brothers, the women need good men, okay, because that inspires them and they inspire us, and the circle of life continues. Because no matter what happens, we're going to get through this dark time. It is a dark time, but we will get through it because we are a community. And we say, as always, the heart and the soul of our community is education. And so we bring you education in many different forms, whether it be books or poems or singers and songwriters, because that was the topic today, the singer and the song. And so if you are a singer or a songwriter, just keep on doing it. Keep on doing it, because there'll be a time when you will be appreciated. But if that's your passion, like my passion for writing is passion for poetry, if it's your passion, you cannot deny it because it's part of who you are. And so on that note, Ron, you have anything that you want to say before we get out of here?
No, it was truly a pleasure, and we truly thank you for tuning in, and we thank our guest today as a world-renowned artist, and I will always say that because, again, that's where the blessings are. So, again, truly, once again, be safe and have a great evening, and to all the men, continue to enjoy Men's Day.
That's right. Good night and happy Father's Day. Party.